Hi lovelies, and welcome back to another TikTok video. If you're new here, my name is Belinda's channel. Thank you so much for all the love and support. Don't forget to please subscribe to this channel, turn on notifications so that anytime I upload videos, you will be the first person to be notified. And to my returning subscribers, thank you so much for all the love and support. To those people that share my videos, leave commentaries, you guys are the real MVP. Thank you so much for all the love and support. Alright lovelies, let's get into the video. So guys, I came across this interesting video on my For You page on TikTok, and I was so shocked. And I'm not shocked because this is something that has been happening over the years and it has not been looked into. So this man, who happens to be Melvis, was convicted 17 years ago, and after all the conviction, after spending close to 20 years behind bars, he was released in the base that he was just free. Like, he didn't commit the crime that took 20 years of his life. Guys, I'm just gonna reel the clip as well as other stitches I was able to put together. Please just leave me your own thoughts in the comment section, and by the end of the video I'll be leaving my own thought, because I don't know why this keep happening with this particular kind of people or this set of people. And please do not forget that this channel does not support any form of violent harassment or whatsoever. We are just here for educational and informative purposes, guys. All right lovelies, let's get into it.
After 19 years, a Minnesota man who was wrongfully convicted has now been released. This is Marvin Haynes. As we talked about in a video last week, when Marvin was just 16 years old, he was arrested and tried for a murder in a case where there was no physical evidence, no fingerprints, DNA, weapon, or anything else indicating that he had any involvement in the crime. But due to police misconduct and faulty eyewitness reports, Marvin was convicted of murder and was serving a life sentence in prison. Thanks to the work of his sister, though, Marvina Haynes, who worked nonstop to make sure that Marvin's case was heard and talked about, Marvin was freed yesterday. The judge himself saying that Marvin should have never even been convicted in the first place. Why? Because there was no evidence against him. Thanks to the work of his sister and the Innocence Project, after 19 years, Marvin will get to spend time with his family. After 19 years, a Minnesota man who was wrongfully convicted has now been released. This is Marvin Haynes. As we talked about in a video last week, when Marvin was just 16 years old, he was arrested and tried for a murder in a case where there was no physical evidence, no fingerprints, DNA, weapon, or anything else indicating that he had any involvement in the crime. But due to police misconduct and faulty eyewitness reports, Marvin was convicted of murder and was serving a life sentence in prison. Thanks to the work of his sister, though, Marvina Haynes, who worked nonstop to make sure that Marvin's case was heard and talked about, Marvin was freed yesterday. The judge himself saying that Marvin should have never even been convicted in the first place. Why? Because there was no evidence against him. Thanks to the work of his sister and the Innocence Project, after 19 years, Marvin will get to spend time with his family.
Big day for justice in Minneapolis yesterday when prosecutors agreed that 19 years ago they wrongfully convicted a 16-year-old kid for murder. Marvin Haynes had to spend 19 years in prison in Minnesota after being wrongfully convicted. The prosecutor, after evaluating the case, determined that the police had coerced witnesses, threatened witnesses, improperly presented lineups to eyewitnesses, and generally denied a 16-year-old child a fair trial. Thankfully, they did the right thing. Happens a lot more than people think in the United States when cops break the rules to get convictions. And we'll continue fighting it at the fairfightinitiative.org.
Yo, if you've been following my movement over the last few years, then you know that until we are all free is something near and dear to our heart. And at the forefront of our movement has always been a young boy named Marvin Haynes, who we've been advocating for since the beginning, screaming to the world that he is innocent. It's a really general statement until we are all free, with real personal implications. And one of those people that was at the forefront of our heart and our mind and our movement was Marvin Haynes. So here we celebrate yesterday, December 11th, 2023, the state of Minnesota decided to release Marvin Haynes, innocent of all charges. After 19 years incarcerated, our brother is home. Now we say, what do we do when our movement manifests itself? We love you, Lil Marvin. Welcome home. So much more work to do.
In 2004, a flower shop owner had been unalived, and when the eyewitnesses had described the person who did it to the police, it did not match the description of Marvin Haynes, who was 16 at the time. In fact, there was no DNA evidence, no physical evidence, nothing that linked Marvin to the crime. But with no leads, the police got a tip that it was Marvin, and Marvin was 16 at the time. He had missed a court date. They knew he had been in some trouble with the law. So while they were interrogating him, and he was pleading to talk to his mom, which was very heartbreaking to watch, they switched out his old mugshot, which matched the description more that eyewitnesses had given them, and showed it to the eyewitnesses and said, "Oh, here's the guy, isn't it?" And they're like, "Oh, it's him." When later on they expressed doubt, I don't think that is him. Also, during trial, the witnesses who testified against Marvin since then have recanted their statements and affidavits and admitted they lied, saying that the police threatened them and said, if you don't go out there and lie, we will take you to prison. And unfortunately, this is all too common. He's been in prison now for over 20 years for a crime he did not commit. He is a changed person. He's not the person that he was when he was 16 getting into trouble. He is just completely reformed, and he absolutely deserves a second chance. In fact, he never should have been wrongfully convicted in the first place. But Minneapolis has a conviction review unit which reviews wrongful convictions, and I can guarantee you Minnesota has more than one wrongful conviction. Unfortunately, since it has been formed in 2020, they have only overturned one wrongful conviction. Keith Elson, who runs it, knows about Marvin's wrongful conviction, knows about it very well. I'm not allowed to discuss what the conversations he's had with his sister, who runs his campaign and also helps campaign for others who have been wrongfully incarcerated. But I can tell you, Keith Ellison, you know the right thing to do. Please overturn his wrongful conviction, and please look at the others that are on your desk. This is your job. This is what the people elected you to do. And I'm going to leave his sister tagged below. Please show her your support. Please spread the word. Show your support to Marvin. There's an update on the wrongful conviction of Marvin Haynes. He was 17 years old. He's been exonerated. Oh my gosh. His sister and I, Marvina and I, are friends. And he's coming home. She's been working tooth and nail for this to happen. And see, when we work together, we advocate, we never give up. Here's what happens. Marvina, I'm proud of you. Marvin, welcome home. I'm glad that you're finally getting to come home. This never should have happened to you, but I'm so glad that you're coming home. And I just wanted to share the good news with you all, because I've been giving you updates about the wrongful conviction of Marvin. And I also did an interview with his sister on my podcast. And, you're welcome to come back on and give us an update. And, this is such great news right before Christmas. This is amazing news. So, again, Maureen, I'm proud of you. This is what happens when we work together and advocate. Because remember, it takes a village. And Marvin, I'm so glad you're coming home. Again, I'm sorry this ever happened to you, but I am glad that you're coming home and that you also never gave up. And this just shows, for the wrongfully convicted in general, there is hope. Absolutely.
Like, seriously, lovelies, this is not the first time I am seeing such cases, especially on TikTok. I keep on seeing something like this. A person of color, a man of color, will be convicted of crime and spend years behind bars. After every other thing, after all the years he has spent, he will be released and and be told that he was found not guilty. So what now happens to those wasted years? What now happens to those injustices? What will now happen to those people that felt that he was supposed to be behind bars, then wasting all his life, then releasing him after, like, seriously? The worst part of this is that they came to their house. That's about 19 years plus ago. In 2004, they took him, like, by telling his mom that, okay, we just want to take him out there, and trying to question him regarding whatsoever the excuses they gave the mother. They took this innocent 14 years old boy. They start interrogating him. There are some videos I saw which I tried to put in here, but with Whitey and all of that, I was not able to put it here. Then they were interrogating him without any person there, without the mom there, or the grown sisters or brothers there. He was just interrogated alone in that room with 2 lawyers, and he kept on saying, I want to see my mom, I want to see my mom, I want to see my mom. They keep on that you are an adult. 14 years. So they keep on telling him that you are an adult, and that you are a man and you need to defend yourself. After all these years, they put him behind bars without even going to look for the person that actually committed that crime. They didn't go ahead to look for the person that actually committed the crime. They decided to keep this baby of color and close the issue, like, okay, we've gotten the suspect and that is it, without them going further on their investigation to actually look for the real person that committed this crime, then leaving the real person that committed this crime to just go free, while this person who happens to be free today try to suffer everything. Then after every when the sister has gone to do her best, trying to create awareness, free Marvins and all of that, trying to tell them my brother is actually innocent, we need to do this. After all of this, they didn't look into all of this for the past 20 years. Then later on, they now realized that, okay, he was actually innocent after 20 years. What happens to 1 year, 2 years, 3 years? What happens to he's just 14 years old? He can be home while the investigation moves on. Or even if you want to interrogate him, you should allow someone to be there, at least the mom. But no, you decided that, oh my goodness, we're going to take this law into our hands, we're going to interrogate him, and if he's not telling us, or they even went ahead to lie so many that his DNA was there. Oh Lord, oh my God. And information have it that he was actually not the real victim. He was accused of something that he did not. When I saw the video when they were interrogating him on TikTok and he was crying, shedding tears that he actually want his mom to be here, I was broken. I imagined that was my son. If that was, oh my God, I couldn't even bear that sight. Then talk more of what the real mom was feeling. You deprive a mother of her son for good 19 to 20 years, and you think this is okay? Do you know what the woman has passed through? Do you even know what that baby has passed through? And now you're releasing him. Now, like, what not happened to those people that accused him falsely? What not happened to those people that locked him up without proper investigation? How would they bring back those 20 years that he lost? How? Like, this is so not nice. This is so not nice in the eyes of God and in the eyes of society, in the eyes of human. This is not nice. Something should just be done about this. Like, I know some kids can be, can be stubborn, from this teen years, like from all this 18, I know. But there is something that should be done because of cases like this of an innocent. Do you know the kind of drama? Like, do you know, like, oh my, I cannot even imagine it. When I saw this on my For You, I was, are you kidding me? Because I knew what, when this Marvin was like free, I was thinking he's been freed or released or something. And now, yesterday, I'm just seeing that, oh my God, he has been freed after 19 years plus. Like, are you serious? How could somebody be locked up for doing absolutely nothing? Be locked up of your 19 years and you've done nothing. Like, this is, guys, why not just, leave me your own thoughts in the comment section of what you think of this video. And do not forget that we do not support any form of, violence. We're just here for educational and informative purposes, guys. Share me your thought of what you think. Subscribe if you've not done that already. Like this video. Turn on notification, and I will see you lovelies when I upload my next video.